Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the West Point Change of Responsibility Ceremony for Command Sergeant Major Michael J. Coffey and Command Sergeant Major Phil K. Barretto. During the ceremony, you will be asked to stand and render appropriate courtesies for honors and the national anthem. It is appropriate for civilians to stand with the right hand over their heart and for military personnel and veterans to stand at the position of attention. We extend a sincere welcome to our distinguished guests. Among our distinguished guests for today's ceremony are Brigadier General Mark C. Quander, Commandant of the United States Corps of Cadets, Brigadier General Shane R. Reeves, Dean of the Academic Board, and Command Sergeant Major Robert T. Craven, Command Sergeant Major of the United States Corps of Cadets. Please rise for the arrival of the official party, the playing of honors and the national anthem, and the invocation given by Chaplain Good. Today's official party consists of the 61st Superintendent of the United States Military Academy, Lieutenant General Stephen W. Gilland, the 21st Command Sergeant Major of the United States Military Academy, Command Sergeant Major Michael J. Coffey, and the 22nd Command Sergeant Major of the United States Military Academy, Command Sergeant Major Phil K. Barretto. At this time, Lieutenant General Gilland has deferred honors to Command Sergeant Major Coffey.
Hail that the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave?
Please join me as we ask a blessing on this day. Almighty God, we thank you for the day of celebration, a celebration of service, as we see these two incredible soldiers who have given their life to the service of a nation. Lord, soldiers who have served in 7 of the 10 combat divisions of our Army, who have perfect attendance and have been a part of every major operation of their generation, in serving and defending those who are helpless. Dear Lord, but not just in serving, but in learning. From basic training to graduate studies, these are soldiers who have learned so they may lead. And so we celebrate them today. Dear Lord, bless their service. Bless their model, their example. And Lord, bless us as we now honor them this morning. We pray in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Good. Please be seated. The official party will now move forward for the change of responsibility. The change of responsibility is a simple yet traditional event that is rich with symbolism and heritage. The key to the ceremony is the passing of the United States Military Academy colors. The very soul of a military unit is symbolized in the colors under which it fights, for they represent not only the lineage and honors of the unit, but also the loyalty and unity of its soldiers. The custodian of the colors is the Command Sergeant Major, who is the senior enlisted soldier at the United States Military Academy and principal advisor to the commander. Sergeant Major Scott Brinson, Operations Sergeant Major, United States Military Academy, will now pass the colors to the outgoing Command Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Michael J. Coffey. Ladies and gentlemen, the Order of Relief for Command Sergeant Major Coffey. Having served faithfully and with distinction, you are hereby relieved of responsibility as the Command Sergeant Major of the United States Military Academy. You have executed the duties of your office with dignity, dedication, and devotion to the command. Command Sergeant Major Coffey now passes the colors to Lieutenant General Stephen W. Gilland, signifying the relinquishing of his duties and gratitude for the opportunity to care for the United States Military Academy's fine soldiers, cadets, civilians, and families. Lieutenant General Gilland now passes the colors to Command Sergeant Major Barretto, entrusting him with the responsibility and care of the unit. Command Sergeant Major Barretto accepts the colors, symbolizing his dedication to the soldiers, cadets, civilians, and families of the United States Military Academy and the continuity of the non-commissioned officer support channel. Ladies and gentlemen, the charge of orders for Command Sergeant Major Barretto. Let it be known from this day forward that as Command Sergeant Major of the United States Military Academy, I have placed special trust and confidence in your patriotism, dedication, integrity, and leadership abilities. You are hereby appointed to the office of Command Sergeant Major of the United States Military Academy. Command Sergeant Major Barretto now returns the colors to Sergeant Major Brinson. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 61st Superintendent of the United States Military Academy, Lieutenant General Stephen W. Gilland.
It's like no drills, wasn't it? Holy cow. Let's change the responsibility. No, so first off, just want to say thanks for everybody coming and joining us today as people are moving around the United States Military Academy. I want to recognize some folks, first of all, okay? So Team Coffey, all right, Miss Leslie, Cameron, Jacob, thanks for coming, all right, we appreciate it. We know it was a challenge because he said he wasn't going to show up today. So Leslie got up this morning and said, "Hey, Mike, get your butt ready. You're going." Okay, because he was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna let it be." All right, and Phil Barretto can come in. No, he's too much of a professional for that. But it's great to have you here, despite the fact that up here on spring break. As you can only imagine, I've got to go to West Point for spring break and hang out with mom and dad and my little brother. But you're doing all right, Jacob? All right. It's good to have you here. Thanks so much for coming. Also want to recognize our guests with Team Barretto here. Marlene, ma'am, thanks for coming and joining us. And we look forward to you getting moved up here. Their oldest son, Bronson, right here, living down in the city, doing all kinds of really cool stuff that makes me jealous, and his girlfriend Tiara, and then Uncle Bob and Aunt Evelyn who come in from Pennsylvania. Folks, thanks for coming to join us. It's awesome. So I want to do a little recognition here. First of all, as we talk, through the change of responsibility, and it's really the recognition of Team Coffey. And first, knowing, let's talk Leslie and the Coffey family, and this isn't the retirement ceremony that I know he's trying to avoid, all right? But it is, as he has changed responsibility here and is going to, start the next chapter in his life, in his family's life, all right? We absolutely need to provide the recognition that Team Coffey deserves. Leslie, I know for a fact, everybody knows the bio. Mike started out as a little ranger in 2nd Ranger Battalion. He then grew up to be a big ranger, and then they said, "Hey, go out to the Army." And you have been there the entire way, including all kinds of deployments. We know that you've gone through the CTCs, NTC. He's gone and come back, and so forth. And we know, and particularly as a spouse, I mean, what you do for your family, your team, and specifically your children. And it is not lost on me or Betsy what you have done throughout the years. All right, and let's face it. I mean, the fact is, for those that haven't, have those responsibilities. I mean, our spouses that lead our families. And by the way, it's not just making sure that your checkbook is straight. Okay, it's all about putting kids in school, going to games, coaching little league teams or soccer teams and such. And you know what? We can't thank you enough. So, ma'am, thank you. All right, let's So Mike Coffey, and you all know this by virtue of his almost 3 years here at the Military Academy. We talk about, when you think about words that describe him, first and foremost, warrior. All right. Second, utmost professional. I think I look at him, it's thoughtful. All right. You talk about personally as a superintendent and a commanding officer perspective. Mike Coffey has given me advice, counsel nearly every day as I've come in, and tried to navigate this job called the superintendent and all the different things that exist out there in this respective ecosphere. And I tell you, it's institutional knowledge that is going to leave here, and I'm going to miss. There's no doubt about that, because he's had experiences here that has helped me in shaping decisions that we make for this institution, for this garrison. And I can't thank you enough for that. All right. And when I go back to, it's thoughtful. All right. He's selfless. And I mean, folks, you talk about selfless, and I don't mean just selfless service. I mean just selfless in who he is as a person. He won't ask anybody for help, but he'll help you in a second. He'll give the shirt off of his back, and the keys to his truck, and his shoes if he has to. I have no doubt about that. And that's the type of person he is. It's the type of person he's always been, and that's who we will continue to be. And that's why when we talk about developing leaders of character, that is Mike Coffey. That's his character. He's accountable. He'll be the first to tell you, "Hey, I think we screwed up there," or "I screwed up. I made a mistake." He'll tell you that. All right. And when you talk about leadership, particularly at this level, I mean, that may not come as easily as what we would like it to be and what we think it should be, but he does it in a heartbeat. And I will tell you, this isn't just as Mike Coffey retires and Team Coffey retires and gets all settled under one roof down in Kentucky. As I talked about the Bourbon Trail earlier with Leslie, as they get settled down there and start like I said, the next chapter and this next leg of the journey. All right, it's not just a loss for the military academy. It's a loss for our NCO Corps. It's a loss for our Army. All right, as he has developed, and it's regardless of being an NCO or an officer out here, he has touched you and he's developed you in some way, shape, or form. And he goes to where the gaps and vulnerabilities are. And so for all of our NCOs out there, you talk about a role model, you talk about exemplar, Mike Coffey is it. And when you say, "Hey, who do I want to grow up to be like?" All right, the character traits that Mike Coffey exhibit every single day are the character traits that I would ask you to exhibit and demonstrate. All right, because it's right in line with what we talk about in living honorably, leading honorably, and demonstrating excellence. All right, so Mike, thanks so much again. All right. Phil Barretto coming in. So fortunately or unfortunately, he's worked with me before. Okay? which means if you haven't figured out, my respective idiosyncrasies or nuances, he's got a book full of them already, okay? And just, a great teammate, Marlene, we were over in Korea together. Here's the other thing. You talk about selfless and dedicated to the profession. All right, Team Barretto is it. You can look at his bio. I mean, you go back to when he was a private in the 10th Mountain Division in Somalia. All right. Now, some of you may not realize, one that was in the last century, okay? But it was also pretty defining. It was. And you talk about defining for a young soldier, that experience and then what he has done with that over the course of time through his various assignments, of which we were fortunate to serve over in Korea with the Barrettos. And I'm remiss. So not only you got the team here, they've got two more boys that are going to be here when they get out of school down in San Antonio. Just look out for the Barretto boys because they'll be running all over the place. We just asked CSM, you got to keep them out of the cadet area, okay? And also two girls that are off at school. And so you talk about a family. The Barretto family, again, role models, exemplars, and who we all look to as what right looks like. As they come in, here's the thing. You talk about experiences that are different. CSM Barretto is coming from San Antonio, where he was a CSM for Army North for almost 3 years. And you think about Army North, all right? Y'all know who I'm talking about, right? They owned the domestic response for our nation with regards to COVID. They own the domestic response as we talk about, various, whether it's natural disasters or if some catastrophe happened in some large urban area. Talk about interagency experiences and such. I say this because we had a place called Fort Hamilton down in New York City that's responsible for housing a bunch of interagency that comes together if something were ever to happen down in New York City, whether it's a natural disaster or potentially something that is not that, as we think about the various acts of terrorism that occur, but also any acts of state-sponsored, military action. And he's got knowledge of that, right? Talking about working with FEMA, talking about all the different agencies, Homeland Security, across Department of Labor, all the different departments that have to come together in order to potentially respond and rebuild. And I'll tell you, that's experience that not everybody has out there. On top of being a warrior, also being in line units and deploying over and over again. That's the one thing that we've got with these two incredible Command Sergeant Majors, is that they have got experience across a broad spectrum. And we are fortunate to have it here. And I would just, the challenge to you all right, particularly our non-commissioned officers, is to absolutely seek that out, ask them to come see you, get them involved for all the units, get them involved, all right? Because if you don't ask, knowing him, he's going to show up. Just be aware of that, okay? Because he moves to the point of friction. He moves to where, guns are firing, and he goes to get the problem solved. So if you haven't figured that out yet, that's a little teaser for you, okay? And but he's there to help in any way that he possibly can, and to bring the resources available that we have within our command to do that. Okay. So Team Barretto, it's great to have you here. Thanks so much. Thanks for coming and driving in from Pennsylvania, folks, and seeing this. I don't know, how many of these things have you even been present for? This is your first one, Russell? Yeah, in typical fashion, right? Jacob, Cameron, how many of these things have you all been present for? 2 or 3? Okay, all right. So mom has drug you along. Is that what you're trying to do? For all the right reasons.
They should opt out like that.
All right, exactly. But when you get to this level, it's really easy to say, hey, I want to opt out and not have to. But you know what? This together for both of these incredible soldiers, non-commissioned officers. It's a family. I mean, their families have been committed to this for decades. Decades, not months, not just years, decades. And that's why we do this, all right? Because you can't do any of this by yourself. You got to do it with a family. And I always say, I mean, because when the Army, when you finish your time in the Army, what are you looking to? Well, you want to be able to look to your family. And knowing that, for him, he's got like 40 or 50 years of life ahead. It's a whole nother lifetime. Unless he goes into some of those cryogenic states, he could have like 100 years. But the fact is, he is looking, I mean, you look to the next one, and it's I really see it, it's the next start line is what it is how I see it, all right? It's your start line too, here at the military academy, all right? Okay, folks, everybody's looking at me now. Betsy's giving me, get off the stage, all right? So, having said that, CSM, I think it turned over to you. What do you got? Am I right?
I'll introduce you, sir.
Okay. I'm done. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the 21st Command Sergeant Major of the United States Military Academy, Command Sergeant Major Michael J. Coffey.
The dean checked my work, my comments, and he said I was good. But the soup made me drink last night, so I might mess it up a little bit. So bear with me. It's the last time I really get to talk to a formation. Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you all here. Thanks for being here. Regardless of anything that's said in the next few minutes, let me humbly say there's no place I'd rather be than right here with all of you. These events are rarely about the leadership involved, but more so about the fundamental decency of our Army. And really our soldiers that stand ready and say, send me, I'll go. There's some amazing people that I've grown to sincerely appreciate in my short time here. They are unquestionably the best of us all. They are the quiet and humble people who day in and day out do what is necessary to ensure that this academy accomplishes a mission that has little to no room for error. Next to raising children, I can think of no greater task than to be part of an organization that takes high school-age kids and in 4 short years builds them into young adults capable of executing the application of leadership in complex and ever-changing environments. To the people out there in the trenches, the TACs, coaches, instructors, and professors, you undoubtedly have the greatest impact on cadet development. It's because of you that I am confident that our country is in good hands. A young lieutenant will one day make a critical decision that is assuredly based on something that you taught them. To the supporting units and agencies all across West Point, Garrison, Keller, USMAPS, the finest musicians in America, the West Point Band, and so many more. You stand guard while we sleep. You keep us healthy. You take care of our families. You find America's brightest and provide a path for soldiers and civilians to become cadets. Your music lifts morale every day while giving us all a steady cadence in which to march from. Patches on shoulders make us unique, but they do not define the team. You are as essential to the use of a mission as any unit, and we are all incredibly grateful for your steadfast commitment. To the Association of Graduates, you take what is good and make it better. There's no easier way to say it. To the entire team that supports the Office of the Superintendent, Ms. Gail, the SGS, the Chief's Office, the SOUPS XOs, the AD camps, all the enlisted aides, SOUPS drivers, COMO NCOs, and the entire USMA staff. I won't speak for the superintendent, but I think it's safe to say that without you, nothing happens. You give so much and you ask for so little. I sincerely love and miss you all already. To the NCOs at my team, particularly Zach Rupert, who's back there, you dealt with me at my best and worst times, and I'm sorry to have ever been a pain. But I'm so grateful you were there with me through it all. Just do the opposite, the absolute opposite of everything you watched me do, and know that you'll be a great platoon sergeant one day. To my teammates and friends on the BOD, both past and present, I have enjoyed the many, many, many hours and days spent together in your company in order to help steer and navigate the academy in what sometimes feels like insurmountable conditions. I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of your team and trusting me to share in the many experiences across the vastness of the academy, in the departments, classrooms, and auditoriums, on the fields, courts, and locker rooms, in the barracks, company areas, and units, and for being part in some small way in the constant pursuit of character development. The academy should take comfort knowing that folks like you are meticulously working through complex challenges so that those you lead have the freedom of maneuver to execute their missions. And finally, to the 2 men I've spent most of my time with in good times and bad, Colonel Reed, sir, you've been a lot to me over my years here and other places, my commander, a mentor, my Ranger buddy, a friend, and an example that on my best day I could not live up to. On our toughest days, just knowing you were a few steps away made all the difference in the world. When I talk to my grandkids one day about men I served with, you'll be in those stories. And I've had one of the greatest honors of my life to be in the closest spaces to the very best officers I've served with. The responsibility of superintendent, as I observed over the last few years, has been one of extraordinary consequence. The burden shouldered by this office has occupied my thoughts and likely will for years to come. Some days about all I could do is just sit and listen. I am grateful beyond measure for having had the opportunity to serve with General Williams and Lieutenant General Gillen. And sir, I could spend hours telling you about how much of a difference your presence is making. Here are two examples for me personally. You've made me a better person, and I only wish that I would have had more time with you. Having witnessed the solemn duty that belongs to you and you alone, just know that you will always be in my thoughts and prayers. To my best friend and wife, Leslie, and my children, Michaela, Christian, Jake, and my little battle buddy and granddaughter, Aviana. Although we are spread all out, 4 in Kentucky, 1 in Texas, 2 in New York, we always find a way to come together to make life fun. I'm so very grateful to be sharing it with you. If a book was ever written about a military family, I'm confident we would make for some incredibly good reading. Thanks for supporting me and the Army on this, our last mission here at West Point, for always having fun no matter what we do, and for always staying focused on what matters most. I love you all more than I can express in words. Bear with me, folks. One of the best lessons taught to me was as an OC at the National Training Center, a lesson that has been taught to thousands of OCs for decades. They teach us that no matter where you find yourself in the vastness of the desert, if it's at night with little illumination, if it's cold and raining, if you can't raise your team on the radio, and if you think you have no idea where you are, that if you can see Teefert Mountain, you're not lost at all. That in fact, you know exactly where you are. You see, Teefert serves as a known point for those both near and far. It's an immutable, towering, easily identifiable object that never changes. Regardless of what else is happening in the environment, despite the challenges that may occur, no matter how difficult things may seem, Teefert Mountain remains constant. I sort of view this slab of granite beneath our feet in a similar way. I think that when people lose their way a little, they instinctively look for something that might make sense. And I believe they might just look here to West Point to help them find their way. And I believe it's important this academy never loses its way on what matters most in its sacred obligation to the nation. When cadets leave West Point, become officers, and find themselves engaged in the chaos of combat, when the noise of fighting goes quiet and smoke of war clears, it'll be the platoon leader, his NCOs, and the soldiers. As tremendous of an opportunity is to attend this historic institution, to learn from the very best, to grow, become stronger and better disciplined, it ultimately comes down to ensuring that these future platoon leaders are ready to lead and love their soldiers. There's not much more to it. It's just that simple. And so let me close with thought. I suppose some folks out there might wonder kind of what's been going up here at the military academy over the last few years. I assume some might be a little cautious, and even a few question their confidence in West Point, considering all that is endured. No doubt things got difficult here for a myriad of reasons and unforeseen circumstances. As an academy leader, I include myself in my own failures and shortcomings. But let me tell you, I see things. I watched an academy that refused to quit, that got up each and every day at the raising of our country's flag, that responded to everything the environment threw its way, that educated virtually in person and every way in between, that maintained discipline, enforced standards, and ensured mission command, that harnessed West Point's revealing nature of a person's character and then tirelessly worked to develop it, that showed up hard in the many arenas without red carpet, lights, and fanfare, and for nothing more than being with their teammates and a love of the game. Most importantly, I watched an organization that never lost sight of its sacred mission. You should all be proud of yourselves. Platoons have leadership right now at this very moment, and it's because of the grit, toughness, and sense of duty of this place. It's because of you. So please take care of yourselves and each other. You are part of a tremendous team where everyone gets to be in the starting lineup. And for me personally, thank you for allowing me to be part of your team. You did far more for me than I was ever able to do for you, and for that I'm both forever grateful and sorry. Phil, to you and your great family, welcome and thanks for your continued service. Passing responsibility of senior NCO leadership is far easier when the next NCO is going to be better for you in every possible way. You have a tremendous task ahead, and you'll make an enormous impact. It is sometimes not the easiest to appreciate the value of NCOs in a place like West Point, where duty is so often hard to define, all while knowing that everyone and I mean everyone, needs a sergeant with so few of us to go around. It might be one of your most important tasks. Good luck to you, my friend, on this next mission. And finally, may God bless you all, West Point, the United States, and our beautiful country. And as I never say goodbye, let me just say I'll see you on the high ground. And if you remember nothing I've said, for the love of God, beat Navy.
Thank you, CSM Coffey. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 22nd Command Sergeant Major of the United States Military Academy, Command Sergeant Major Phil K. Barretto.
Good morning, teammates. First of all, thanks for everybody showing up. What a great day it is. And, I can't get enough of this view. Every morning I get out running or in the afternoon, and I tell Marlene all the time, I just don't get enough of it. I mean, it's just amazing being out here. Sir, Miss Betsy, thank you once again. Thank you for selecting Marlene and I and Team Barretto to be a part of this sacred grounds out here in West Point. We're humbled and honored to just be here. Generals Reeve and General Quander, ma'am, thank you. I look forward to getting out there and meeting you guys and being part of the team. Like the boss said, I'm not spying on you, but I'll be out there, everyone. So if there's something out here that there's a command and you're leading it, I'm a in your face kind of leader. I just like to be out there. I'll be with the team out there. Brother Coffey, thank you, man. I can't thank you enough. We was having a conversation in the office with Mr. Faro and somebody Coffey, and I'm selfish about this, and I told Coffey that all of that knowledge that he just gave me, I'm the one getting it, right? Which it shouldn't be that way. It should be all of us, right? There's just with the knowledge management team over here, so I'm going to visit you as well. How do we capture all of his service to this great nation and put it to good use so everyone else? Right now, I'm the only one getting it, and I appreciate you, brother. Thanks. I haven't been through a RIP process better than what you and the entire team has done. To all the directors, the staff elements here, I'm still drinking from a fire hose. This is different. West Point is different, but I'm all in, and the boss knows that. I'm totally all in. Please join me in a round of applause to the band, please. To the G staff that put this together, to all the HHC staff elements, everybody had something to do with this. It's not easy to make a ceremony like this look so easy. The background teammates that made this possible. So thank you guys, protocol, pay, everyone. So thank you guys as well. Chaplain, thanks for those inspiring words. I was talking to my wife about, at the Cub when you got up and you said some words, and it stuck with me about the squirrel. And I actually went home and talked to Marlene about the squirrel. From what I took it, right? Yes, Chappie was avoiding the squirrel because he didn't want to hit him. But the takeaway was, each and every one of us, we have our higher spiritual and how we look at, the squirrel, is the higher, and don't dodge the squirrel, right? That squirrel is actually there to help you. But again, don't hit the squirrel, right? Unfortunately, we may do. I have Team Barretto out there. I have 5 children, like the boss said, and they're all over the country. Great to have my son and his girlfriend here. First ceremony since I've been in the Army for 30 years now. He's in New York City. I have my daughter. She's in college out in California in Chapman University. And then I have my other daughter going to school in Hawaii, going to a school at Kamehameha Schools in the Bishop Estate. One of the programs you don't tell no to when they accept you. So she's dorming out there. She's a junior right now. And I got my 2 boys in San Antonio in Texas that would join myself and when done with the school. And I want to thank Uncle Bob and Auntie Evelyn for being here. They came from Pennsylvania. So don't blame Uncle Bob. I don't know if you guys saw his hat coming in, right? He's a senior commander in the Navy. So, you know, don't blame Uncle Bob. He's a health professional, and everything he does for our health profession out there, especially during the COVID times, Uncle, and what you've done for this nation, and Aunt Evelyn being by his side and everything that he's done. Thank you guys for being here. You know, you make it special for Marlene and I. You know, last but not least, my wife for 30 years. Can I get a round of applause for my wife there? I don't know how she keeps up with this old soldier here, but she does it with ease, takes care of the family, takes care of our kids, takes care of the community. Everything she does, she's always all in. And Darling, I can't thank you enough. Thank you very much. And I look forward to, you know, you getting out in the community and we just embracing the West Point teammates. And then for our teammates out there, I'm an in-your-face type of leader. Looking in your eye is how I do business. Yes, I have a phone. Yes, I have email and computer, but you know, I'm an in-your-face kind of leader. So I'll be there looking you in the eye. And you ever need help, I'm here. It's always about the team. It's never about Barretto or the office. It's always about the team. So I will be out there. Thank you for attending today's ceremony. You know, I need you guys to give me a loud one because Uncle Bob's here, right? Go Army!
I won't take it personally.
Be all you can be. Sir, CSM 22 on the net.
Please rise for the benediction given by Chaplain Good and remain standing for the playing of the official Army song, "The Army Goes Rolling Along."
Join me as we ask a blessing on these two incredible teams. Almighty God, we are blessed. Blessed by Team Coffey in the years of service, of modeling and leading and sacrificing. Dear Lord, go with them as you give them a new vision and a new opportunity to serve. Lord, for Team Barretto, as they come in now and assume the responsibility of leadership and mentorship and modeling what right looks like. Dear God, give them strength, wisdom. May you give Sergeant Major a compassion and passion that will touch every cadet as they go off to lead our Army. Lord, bless this academy as we seek to do what no one else does, to shape and mold those who will defend us. And Lord, above that, then, we ask a blessing on our nation, for indeed this we will defend. God bless us now, we pray. Amen.
March along, sing our song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might. And the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won. And the army goes rolling along. Then it's hi, hi, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cadence loud and strong. For where'er we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony. Command Sergeant Major and Mrs. Coffey invite you to join them at the receiving line in front of the colors. Command Sergeant Major and Mrs. Barretto invite you to enjoy some refreshments in the rotunda. Thank you for attending today's ceremony and enjoy the rest of your day. Beat Navy!